Hello everyone, I've actually reviewed this car before, but from a different brand, Sparky. But Sparky uses decals. Decals are horrible. So this brand, Finclassically, let's see if they did a better job and used tampo prints. It's not licensed. Alright, well anyways, the title says it all. So a very historic car in my opinion. Let's open this up. We got your standard clear plastic case. We got your standard sleeve. Slide that out, and we got a little background there. I don't know if that's LeMans or not. Is it? Oh, no tape. Be careful. Very loose though, so at least it didn't fall to fall down. There it is at the Porsche Museum, and there it is racing. It's also a bit dirty. You'll notice is all the sponsorship isn't on this model. Like up here, those two sponsors aren't there, which for an unlicensed product makes almost no sense. If you're gonna make an illegal product, why wouldn't you just print all this stuff on here? Right? Seems odd. Seems odd. Okay, it's that central wiper blade there. Venting. The venting looks bigger on the race car photograph than this diecast. So that's a problem with casting metal. It's just you can't get the tight details of a plastic casting can. Okay, well that's as good as I'm gonna do with comparing to the photos. Two screws holding it together, and then we have this metal plate here, and it tells you what the car is, exactly what the car is, and what race it won. There's 1,000 of these things out there, but if you see this video in 10 years, I wouldn't worry. They're not going to throw these molds away, I would assume. I'm going to guess you'll just have a different brand there. Alright, pretty cool base. It's tampo printed. It's not a oh wait, I could be wrong. There's thickness to this. I think this might be a piece of paper. I don't know. It's definitely got a thickness to it, but it looks like paint to me. So I don't know what the deal is with that. Or there's a recess here, and this is like cardboard painted, but it's so smooth there. Well, I guess as long as it doesn't fall apart, I'll be happy. But it's a pretty interesting graphic. Starting on the side here. So Avon tires. I don't know if those are still around, that brand. I doubt it. The sidewalls, the tires are very rounded, ballooning, so that's good. You can also see there's a disc brake system through that black wheel. As the wheel itself is a 5-spoke glossy, and that caliper is on the left. The rear, I don't know where the caliper is. I guess it's on the left also. They're just silver calipers, so harder to see. Alright, the wheels, I guess they're molded well enough. Anyhow, the side of this thing, you have the Porsche and the 23, and I don't see... Oh, so I do think these are decals, but the key thing is, I think they're under a clear coat. So you can see air pockets here. And here, it's clearly bridging the gap of the door cut. But as I touch it, it's perfectly smooth. So this graphic is underneath the clear coat. So that's why this is better than the Sparky. So you'd have to put a lot of force down here to crack that. And more importantly, it's just not going to peel off like an exposed decal would. Alright, so that's great. But again, it's weird to not see the sponsorship. It's just missing a lot of stuff. I don't know what this 133 is, but it's not on the photographs. So I don't know what race this is. So here are the drivers. Hans Herman maybe? And I forget Atwood's first name. I don't know if Atwood has 2 T's either, but I don't know. I think that's correct, but Correct me if I'm wrong. So the fuel filler here is a separate piece, and it's actually angled that way. I don't know if that's realistic or not, but this graphic, you'll see it's wrapping down into that hole, and this vent is there, and then it continues on, so that's good. The side window has some molded details for that little opening window, and then we have some ridges here for the venting above the wheel, and again the decal or paint, I don't know, it's going into the vents. And then going around to the front, we have the clear light covers and molded lights back there with what looks like light bulbs, so I guess that's pretty good. So now there's this white paint or a decal covering that edge of the cover, maybe? I don't know. It's like a separate process from these three stripes. So I don't know what's going on there. And then, boy, the camera keeps losing focus because the thing is just so glossy. So there are vents here, but yeah, this decal when I was covering it, so this NACA duct, same with there. But it's going down into it, at least on this side. Those front vents, they're not very deep. There's black paint in there, and then we have some grill details there. The 23 here, again, it might be bridging a gap, but it's under the clear coat. What the heck? Hold on here. I had to zoom out. At that magnification, it's just my camera can't handle it. So, all right. So the wiper blade there is photo etched and very frail looking. Yeah. So don't go picking at that. It's actually just very up there. All right, that's a little better. So this side here, yeah, it's pretty hard to see those wheels. They're just so black, but that's the real car. And then now, look at this. There's a different fuel filler or oil filler. It's in a different location. Yeah, I guess that's realistic to the photographs I'm looking at. Yeah, so that looks good. This 23 here, again, it's under this clear coat. Unfortunately, I don't know if that's glue residue or a scratch or some contaminant. This engine detail here, it says Martini Racing Team. What I don't think is realistic is I think this is all supposed to be red. These things here, these covers or whatnot, in the museum rear photograph, they're red. But maybe, possibly in the race, they could have been exposed, whatever these things are, and they're black. I don't know. I think that's the fan. It actually does look like a fan. I'm gonna have to go zoom in again. But you can see the blades and they're angled. So that's pretty good. But the center of the fan isn't fully painted. So that's unfortunate. So the gull wing doors, some hinge details there. I don't know what those are. For a moment I thought this was metallic. I don't know what's going on with these little dots in there. It's weird. Right? Or I kind of see them here. I wonder if there's a little bit of metallic flake in this paint. Little specks. Alright. Nice clear red taillights are good. And then this tube frame is like a gunmetal color as well as here for that brace. I don't know what these silver things are. I can't even tell in the real photograph what those are. If they're latches to hold the clamshell down. I do see rivet marks in the rear photo, and I also see rivet marks here, so that's good for these rear wings. I think these are separate pieces. Look how thin they are. So those are photo etched wings added on before they painted the model. That's quite interesting. I think that spare tire goes there. So the treads, they look old school. That's good. And you'll notice from the side, they still look pretty much like race tires. So that's not bad. Again, so out of focus. I apologize. It's pretty low slung. Yeah, all in all, I guess not so bad. That little blemish, but not too much else to complain about. Alright, so these are photographs of the car's top view, and yes, this is all red here. You got these little side vent things going on. So, and also the color of this red is a lot darker, I think, than the real car. All the photographs is a little more orange to it, and so the Sparky model is far closer in color than the color of this thing, which is simply more like a Ferrari red, dark Ferrari red than this thing. So, yeah, there's good and bad to both. Let me get these photos out of the way, but clearly the engine thing of this is totally inaccurate. They could have easily painted it red. I don't know why they didn't. So, yeah, just comparing these two now. Let's see. The wheel spokes of this are probably, well, you know, maybe they're not. It's hard to say. But the impression is the wheels on this are a bigger diameter than the wheels of that. It might be an optical illusion. So, boy, this is really difficult. Yeah, see the top, the Sparky I think has bigger wheels, which it shouldn't have, right? Cars from this era are running small diameter wheels. So give it up to these guys there. Now you'll see the sponsorship though, the Sparky is all there. The Bosch, the Goodyear, all this stuff. So what, seriously, an unlicensed product, why would you skip that? Yeah, I guess the only excuse is they're too cheap because this is a different paint color, right? These are different paint colors, and so it would cost more to tampo print all the sponsorship. But even black and white, they could have had the shell there and they skipped it. So that's, yeah, kind of lazy on Finclassically's part. And that 133 makes no sense. It's just not in any photograph. You'll see though the rear little wings there molded into this casting where these are separate pieces. I would rather have the sponsorship in a molded in wing than these separate metal pieces, right? So that's a weird budget design decision. The Sparky also has this gold printing on the window, but I don't know if that's realistic. This is a physical, you know, window break, so I think that makes more sense. So front end wise, I think the front venting maybe is bigger than on the Finclassically. But look at the ride height of this Sparky. It's too high. So that's not a race car ride height. So the stance of this is better, that's for sure. Also has bigger light buckets. These are quite small. I have a suspicion this might be more realistic. Okay. The hinge details are simply more detailed on this model than that. This has a molded in wiper blade. There we have the separate metal piece. But this has black in the vents above the front wheels. This is actually a longer model as well. But this, you see the engine, it has the yellow fan and a red engine. Whereas that's black and black and champagne metallic. So, very strange. But the worst part about this Sparky is look at that stripe in the NACA duct. It's literally floating in air. So that's just not realistic at all. Right? So that's why I bought this. Boy. The cockpit details, yeah, it's a black racing cockpit, so I didn't even bother looking in there because the windows are so small. Oh, exhaust pipes. Now, the Sparky is giant exhaust pipes, so big that they're not realistic. And the Sparky also has painted on taillights, and I'm not sure if it would have turn signals being a race car, possibly, but these are just red, but they're clear, and I think more realistically sized tailpipes. This is also smaller, whatever those things are. These are kind of oversized. Says decent enough tires, I guess. So good and bad to both. Yeah, I think the color of this is better, the accuracy of the engine is better, but I think the mold of this is better, wheels and the body. And then it's got these, you know, whatever fuel filler, oil filler caps that you can actually see instead of being covered by a floating decal. And this is just a raw decal, so it's gonna crack, peel off, or something like that. But all the sponsorship is there. So much is missing, right? Look at the sponsorship here on the fenders, the shell. It's just not here at all. So Finclassically could have made a much better model, but they cheaped out. So it's, I don't know. I really can't recommend either of these. If you have to have this car, I guess go with whatever you like. But I feel like there's an opportunity for another brand to come and do it right. And basically take the best of both of these and just make the first Porsche Le Mans winner. So I think this is the first Porsche that won Le Mans. Correct me if I'm wrong, I could be mistaken there, but that's what the internet told me in that photograph. Alright, so another Sparky, the Skull Bandit 962 or 956. Yeah, Sparky doesn't even tell you what the car is, so that's not good either. But at least that doesn't have floating decals suspended in air. This Kyosho is a Porsche 907. Alright, so this is all Tampa printed, which is great. So some historic Porsche Le Mans racing cars. This is so long. Yeah, it's pretty wacky. Here's a top-down view. Well, as usual, kind of a negative review. I just don't understand why most of these, it seems like the majority of these 164 companies don't really research what they're making. There's tons of photographs of these vehicles, and yet they make such easy mistakes, like mistakes that a 5-year-old child can figure out, right? So it's just really weird to me. And that's why I don't really collect many 164 scale models. I expect them to look like the photographs. They're just static models. They should be perfect. Because you can buy a real running remote controlled vehicle that you can drive for the same price as a lot of these static display models. So for the value of, money of collecting things, I don't think 164 scale is a good value once you go past Mini GT. Mini GT is pretty good. I like that brand because they're not expensive and they seem to be relatively realistic models, even though they roll. And might have gappy wheel wells. Alright, but that's a different brand entirely. So Finclassically, you did better on your other 917 or some white vehicle. I don't even remember anymore. But this could have been a lot better. It's so easy to make it better, and you decided to cheap out. Alright, get rid of the base. Get rid of the stupid base and make the model look better. I don't need to be buying plastic boxes. I want the model to look like the photographs. That's all. And the metal plate, that cost a lot of money too. That money could have easily been just printed, and then you could print more on the model. But no, you have to have a steel laser etched plate, right? So these decisions, again, horrible attitude now. Alright, so I'll see you, but this just puts another sour note, another nail in the coffin of me collecting these things. Alright, hopefully I can save you money knowing this. But if you love this car, I guess go ahead and buy it. Alright, we'll see you in the next review.